Have you ever had that feeling, stuck in a job, knowing deep down you were meant for something else? Well, today, we're going to follow the story of someone who took that feeling and ran with it, trading in a dead-end job for a new beginning in the high-tech world of advanced manufacturing. Let's dive in. This quote, wow, it really hits home, doesn't it? It's from a 40-year-old on Reddit who, after 12 years in the same field, felt like his job was just draining the life out of him. And that's a feeling so many of us can relate to, that slow grind of a career that just isn't the right fit. And right here, this is the pivot, the moment everything changes. For this person, going back to school wasn't just about getting a different job. No, it was about finding that spark again. He enrolled in something called a CAD/CAM program at a local community college. And that one decision, well, it opened up a whole new universe for him. So, he jumped into the world of advanced manufacturing. And this isn't your old school factory floor. We're talking about a field that's all about blending hands-on skill with some seriously cutting-edge tech. It's about building the future, really. Everything from airplane parts to medical implants. And at the heart of it all is a technology called CNC machining. Okay, so you hear this term CNC machining, and it sounds pretty intimidating, right? Super complex. But the idea behind it is actually more straightforward than you might think. It's basically the engine that powers modern manufacturing, turning digital ideas into real physical things. So let's break it down. At its core, CNC is all about giving a machine a very precise set of instructions. So instead of a person manually guiding a cutting tool, a computer follows a digital blueprint down to the tiniest detail. And what does that get you? Incredible accuracy and the ability to make the exact same perfect part over and over and over again. So how do you create those instructions in the first place? Well, it's kind of like a two-step dance with some really cool software. First, you use CAD, think of it as digital sculpting, to design a 3D model of whatever you want to make. Then you use CAM software to translate that beautiful design into a language the CNC machine can understand. It's the critical bridge between the idea and the actual object. And what's really important to get is that this is a whole process, from start to finish. It all begins in the digital world with planning and designing. Then it gets translated and sent to the machine. You get the machine all set up, you make the part, and then you've got to check it, finish it. Every single one of these steps is absolutely essential to get that perfect final product. Now, you don't just learn how to do all this overnight. It takes a very specific skill set. And what's happening now is that community colleges are creating these incredibly direct, structured pathways to get those skills. You could almost think of it as a modern, high-tech apprenticeship. And what's really great about these programs is the flexibility. You get to choose your own adventure, basically. You can go for an associate's degree, which is a deeper dive that can set you up to transfer to a 4-year university for, say, an engineering degree. Or you can get a certificate, which is like a direct on-ramp to the workforce, focused on getting you the essential skills employers are looking for right now. And we're not just talking about reading textbooks here. A lot of these programs use a really cool method called problem-based learning. So students get to team up and tackle actual challenges that come from real companies. They're not just learning theory, they're learning how to think and solve problems just like a pro. And if you take a quick peek at the classes they take, you see this amazing mix of the digital and the physical. I mean, one minute you're mastering design software like SolidWorks, and the next you're getting hands-on with actual CNC machines or learning a fundamental skill like welding. And of course, a huge piece of the puzzle is learning the OSHA safety standards, which are completely non-negotiable out in the real world. So, what does it actually take to do this kind of work? Let's talk about the gear, the tools of the trade. And what you'll find is this really fascinating mix of the old school and the brand new. On one side, you've got the stuff you can hold in your hands, the grinders, the pliers, the welding hoods. This is where the craft comes in, right? The hands-on skill that you can only get through practice. It's a great reminder that this is still about making real physical things. And then, on the other side of the coin, you have the digital toolkit. This is where all that mind-blowing precision comes from. Software like Fusion 360 and Mastercam, these are the brains of the whole operation. They let you design and program parts with incredible detail before you even touch a single piece of metal. But look, working with all this powerful equipment, both the physical and the digital, it comes with a pretty serious responsibility. In a modern shop, especially one with industrial robots, safety isn't just a good idea. It is the absolute foundation of everything. And that's exactly why safety rules are drilled into students from day one. It's all about creating safe zones, knowing exactly where that big red e-stop button is, having the right gear, and always, always staying clear of moving parts. A safe machinist is a good machinist. End of story. Okay, so we've seen the motivation, we've seen the tech, we've seen the training. But what's the end game? What's the payoff? Let's look at how this whole journey actually translates into a real career. 96%. This number is, well, it's staggering. A study by the Lumina Foundation looked at these exact types of programs, and they found that 96% of the alumni they interviewed were non-white. By making high-wage jobs accessible and affordable, these programs are becoming these incredible engines for economic mobility. It's a huge deal. And you don't have to take our word for it. Just listen to what the graduates themselves are saying. This quote from a CNC program alum says it all. It's not just a piece of paper. It's an investment that pays off with real, tangible career growth. And that investment leads directly to confidence. I mean, can you imagine walking into a job interview feeling so prepared that you literally can't say anything wrong? That is the kind of confidence you get when your education is perfectly lined up with what an industry actually needs. So what's the secret sauce here? Well, that Lumina study pointed to these 4 key things. It's the whole package: the hands-on learning, the mentorship from teachers who've actually worked in the field, the internships that give you real experience, and job support that knows exactly what employers are looking for. It's that combo that really works. Which leaves us with this one last big question to think about. When you look at this mix of accessible education, high-tech skills, and these direct pathways to good-paying jobs, you really have to wonder, is it possible the future of economic mobility is being built right now in these very classrooms? Something to think about.